All right. Welcome to episode 11. Today I have none other than the son of Sahara with me, Samir. Is it Troudi or Trudy?
Trudy.
Trudy, okay.
Well, it's
Depending on where you are.
the thing is Trudy is like the English version, and it's an Arabic name, so it's actually Altarodi.
Al-Tarodi, that makes so much more sense now.
So
where did you take the Al away from it?
the reason why is because in my Swedish passport it says Troudi,
Yeah.
and when I moved to Dubai, actually the Ministry of Immigration,
Yeah.
they told me to change my name.
No way.
Because they said like you're not spelling it like it's spelled in English.
They told you how to spell it, yeah.
So they changed my spelling on my Arabic name, my family name, from Altarudi till Trudi.
So you've been given a name
Yeah,
now,
I've
like
been
your
given
original
a
name.
new
doesn't
name
exist.
when I came here.
That's insane. All right, so let me just start by saying I can understand like you being nervous and intimidated by the sheer size of me, and I don't want you to feel like that it's a big issue. Like I'm a humble, nice guy. Most big guys like me are like really nice, down to earth guys. So don't at any point feel like you should be intimidated or anything, right?
That's good because my first idea was like, shit, this guy is so big.
What am I gonna do, right? All this training I've been doing, and this guy who's not even a competitor is just huge, right?
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot when people first meet you? Maybe like young kids or something, and they see you like at the pool at the beach, and they're just like, "This guy's the Hulk."
Yeah, but I mean, like the reaction you had now, like this guy is big, is more from older people, like, "Oh, I don't want to fight you."
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
there's like, I can't fight.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone comes up,
I don't want to fight you.
If someone comes up to me and start fighting,
Yeah.
I probably
It's
don't
over.
know what to do.
Yeah, the best thing you could do is just hold them really tight.
Yeah,
And that's about it.
so I probably avoid a lot of fights just by looking like
mean.
I can mean.
Working on the face.
But I cannot fight. So, but that's a very common comment. Like, oh, I wouldn't want to fight you.
Yeah.
So they just assume because you're big you can fight.
Exactly. Yeah. And do you notice that? I mean, what I noticed, and even my wife was saying to me, is that when I'm at the malls and stuff, especially when I'm like really shredded or really in a position, that it's more guys that look at me than girls. Like, do you get that guys are more kind of focused on how your definition is or whatever? Because
it's basically, I would say 90% guys
it is, right?
that
Because,
appreciated you. And especially here, it's mostly not to discriminate, but it's mostly Indians actually that like bodybuilders here.
Yeah.
So they just want to come up and take pictures and
Just
whatever.
yeah.
So, but it's mostly guys.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm the same. Like, if I'm at the pool or whatever, and I see somebody who's in really good shape, I catch myself staring.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, because I'm like, I wonder what rear delt exercise he does to kind of get his rear delts in that shape and that stuff.
But I guess it's always like when you see something that is out of the ordinary, you stare.
Yeah.
If it's a fat person, if it's a big muscled guy, or a midget or whatever, you will stare. It doesn't really matter why.
Yeah.
But most people actually do it of appreciation. So they admire your physique. So I don't mind at all. But the thing is, some people seem to believe that they are invisible.
And they're not being so like obvious with it.
Or that I am deaf. Because people I can enter an elevator and they can be like two friends in the elevator and they start talking about me when I'm like, I'm 10 centimeters away from them.
If anything, my eardrums are musclier and stronger and I can hear you.
But I don't mind as long as it's because of they admire or think it's cool, then it's fine.
Then it's cool. So let's let people know for the people that aren't your fans, like, where are you originally from?
Well, my mom is from Egypt,
okay,
and my dad from Tunisia.
I actually didn't know. Now I've known you for so long, I didn't know the Egyptian side at all.
No, most people don't. But they moved to Sweden like in the 70s. So I was born and raised in Sweden.
Okay,
I was born 1983 in Sweden. So I was raised in Sweden, lived there for more or less 30 years. Before me and my wife moved to Norway first, and then from Norway we moved here in 2014.
And what made you decide to move here?
Well, basically it was because the bodybuilding culture in the Scandinavian countries is not that big, and there are not so many opportunities to be able to live off like personal training and things like that. And I decided that I want to take the next step and try to get my pro card. So I was still amateur when I moved to Dubai.
Okay.
So we actually went here on vacation 2014.
Yeah.
And I did a show at the same time, and we fell in love in the country.
Yeah.
So we just decided like, okay, let's go back home, save some money, and
then get out,
then get out. And if the worst thing that can happen is that we have to move back.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, so that's the reason why we moved here, to be able to focus on my competition, my career, and my personal training business as well. So
I find a lot of people do that as well when they come out here. They're like, yeah, I'm going to try it for a year. And then 10 years later, they're still here and they're loving it.
Yeah. I think like if you manage to succeed and stay like the first year, then you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
But we have a culture in Sweden that people go abroad and they work for like 2-3 months.
Okay.
And then, so I met a lot of people who tell me like, how is Dubai? Can I come and just work for like a couple of months?
Yeah.
I tell them,
it's not like that.
It's not like that, because you need a huge capital to just start.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of deposits, and you have to have the visa to get like permits to get residency and just to get the apartment. So I usually tell them, if you want to come and visit on a visit visa, just see what it's like, and then you can decide, because if you're gonna move here, it has to be at least for, I would say, like a year.
Yeah, don't go on somebody else's, because you might not like at all what they like.
Exactly.
Crazy. And with the culture thing is something like that, because a lot of my guests are from different backgrounds and stuff, from the countries that they were born in or they live in. How did you find it in Sweden? Were you accepted as a Swede growing up, or were you also the Arab/Swede? And when you went back, if you went back to your home countries, were you accepted as the Arab there, or were you the Swede?
It's a very good question, and I think about this a lot, because for me, my home is Sweden, but where I felt like I was most home is actually Dubai, because when I grew up in Sweden, there were not a lot of immigrants and Arabs, so I actually never spoke Arabic. I wanted to like blend in, so I grew up with like real Swedes. So my, what do you say, behavior or
mirrored theirs kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I'm Swedish, but of course they were not considering me as a Swede because I don't look Swedish. My wife actually thought I was Swedish when I met her.
Really?
When her parents asked her where I'm from, she said like Sweden.
Yeah, Stockholm. He's from
So she actually didn't know. So, but yeah, and also I think like every time we went back to Tunisia, because I never lived in Tunisia, I was always there for vacation. They always called me like, what do you say? Like the guy who lived abroad. Yeah. So I was never accepted as a Tunisian, even in Tunisia.
Yeah.
And I was never accepted as a Swede by the Swedes in Sweden.
This is what happens with us,
So I never felt that any place were home. I was like, I was tourist in my own home country, and I was like
a tourist in
in Tunisia. So, and also it became like, so when I moved to Dubai, here, I would say like, what is it, like 80% are expats, I think, more or less, or 75%, something like this. So it felt like I was more in the same community as the rest of the people. So even if this is not my home country and I will never be Emirati,
you still have an identity.
I still have an identity, and people don't see me as an immigrant. They see me as a normal expat, because most of them are. So,
and then again, what is an expat? There's so many different countries you could possibly be from.
Exactly.
And I get that a lot because I don't look Arab as well. Well, I think I do, but a lot of people mistake me for different countries. And I suppose here it's a lot easier to kind of blend in.
I think it is
in other places
for sure.
But I'm going to get a picture of this up while we're talking about it now, because you weren't always bald and jacked, right?
No, of course not. I actually started training pretty late. I was 20 when I started with the bodybuilding or the gym. And I had dreadlocks.
Full on dreadlocks,
Full on dreadlocks.
And a band as well, right?
I used to be a DJ in a neo metal band. And the reason why I started to train was actually because the band that we had, most of the members after high school and then we're gonna go to university, we actually split up and we moved to different cities.
Yeah, yeah.
So naturally, the band split up, and I didn't
You're like,
have
what do I do now?
I didn't have anything
Yeah.
else to do because we basically been playing and touring for the last 4 years because we were pretty big back then.
Yeah.
So I started to train in the gym, and I always been competitive. I mean, like I played soccer for 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I started when I was 6,
Yeah.
and I stopped when I was 16 to do the music. So I mean, like I had it naturally in me to be competitive, and I always been competitive in whatever things I did. So when I started training and I saw like I got the results pretty fast. Well, first the girl I was dating, I was making fun of her and like because she was asking me how big are you gonna get.
Yeah, yeah.
So I bought a magazine just for fun,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like these guys.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Did you intend that that was where you were going with it? Or
no,
was
no, no.
it was
This is just a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
And the thing was, in that magazine, they actually had like good advices. And
Yeah,
so I started to buy it and read all the articles, and I learned more and more. And then in one of the magazines, they had like this, basically, at that time, it wasn't an online competition, but it was a photo
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
competition in the magazine. So basically, what you did, you took pictures
Okay.
and you sent them in, and then they judged
They
you.
vote. Yeah.
So I decided like, okay, next year this is gonna be my goal. So I trained for a year, sent the pictures in, and they assessed my physique, and I got good reviews. And I said, oh, why not try to compete for real? So basically, what I did, I started to train at the gym where I knew there were people that were competing. So they taught me how to diet, how to pose, and all these things. So I trained 2.5 years before I did my first show, and I competed at I was 65 kgs.
Wow.
Yes,
It's hard to imagine you. It's hard to imagine myself at 65 kgs, let alone you.
So, and I won my first 4 shows. So I got even more hungry to compete. So I just got bit by the iron bug and just kept going. So
because it is addictive, right?
it is,
Like-
and especially if you like the training in itself is addictive because as soon as you see results, you want more.
Yeah, of course.
And
And
also
then somebody will say something to you like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
you look really good," or
Yeah.
"Or how did you do that?" And then you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and I never trained because I had like bad self-esteem or anything like that. Because that's not the reason why I trained. I trained because I had time, and then I just wanted to compete because I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
And training in itself teach you a lot of discipline. You have to be rigid with the meals, with the diet,
The
with
times, the early
time,
mornings.
consistency, everything. I mean, like people ask me, how do you become a good bodybuilder? And I tell them it's all about consistency. You have to do everything day in and day out for as long as you can.
I don't think people understand what it takes.
They don't, and especially if they never tried. And I have always people coming up to me and ask me how long I trained, and they want to hear 1 year or 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
But I've been training for almost 20 years. I've been training for 17 years with no interruption, except for when I had like small injuries.
Yeah.
But still, I managed to train around them and still kept training other
And
muscle
not just
groups.
training, learning different
learning
techniques and what works for you,
and the
which might not
food,
work for someone else.
Yeah, and the rest and everything. And of course, you can build a good physique in a couple of years. You can, but I mean, like some people expect they're gonna be big in 3 months, and that's not gonna happen.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, especially I think they don't understand that the human body can only put on a certain amount of muscle a year. Even.
Yeah,
Do you know
and
what I
then
mean?
of course it's genetics. How much? I mean, like if someone can put on 5 kg, another one maybe 10, then you have the people who don't put on anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they just don't change at all.
exactly.
Yeah, they might get a bit more, toned or whatever, but they're not going to pack on lean muscle. And
Exactly.
I mean, I find that's an issue with a lot of trainers as well. That there's a lot of trainers out there who aren't qualified, who don't know what they're doing at all, got a certain way and think it's going to work for everyone, whereas
For
not.
sure. And also, there's a lot of trainers who can guarantee you results, but that's impossible.
How can you guarantee someone
can't.
results when you don't know the individual?
Exactly.
Because they might not even do anything you're saying.
Exactly. And even if they do everything you say, they might not have the genetics. So if anyone asks me, like, how long will it take for me to get this physique? I say, honestly, the only thing I can do is give you the tools. I can tell you what to eat, how to train, and I can push you hard every workout. Then whatever happens,
The rest is the rest is up to the
it's up to God how your
Yeah.
physique develops. So it's all about genetics, how you
Yeah.
respond. So
I get that a lot. But one thing I want to ask you is I've noticed something, and I don't know if you've noticed it as well. So people like me who aren't massive but can get into decent shape, and people who aren't in decent shape, when we go to the gym, we wear the tightest low cut vest to show our chest and our shoulders, and the shortest shorts just to show people we do have a bit of quads,
yeah,
just in case they were thinking because we got small calves. I've noticed with professionals like yourself, mostly you guys wear really baggy clothes when you train.
I honestly don't like tight clothes because I feel like I'm imprisoned.
Yeah.
So I like to train in baggy clothes. And then for me, of course, I like to see how I look in the mirror. I do. But for me, I train to compete. So how I look in the gym doesn't really matter because it's the results that I'm after is the stage physique,
Not what the other people in the
not
gym
what
are
the other,
thinking.
not even what they think about me or whatever. So for me, when I'm in the gym, I'm there to, what do you say, to perform.
Yeah.
So if I look good or if I look bad or doesn't really matter
yeah.
as long as I feel comfortable. So, but of course, I train in like tank tops and shorts as well sometimes. But
Yeah, but the shorts that you wear are mostly
Yeah,
really baggy over the knee
yeah,
shorts.
yeah.
Where me, I've got, let's probably say 1/8 of the quad that you have, and I want to show the whole world.
Yeah, but
I want to show everyone this little line that I have there.
the thing is, the less size you have, and the more definition you have, you're gonna look bigger if you can actually show off
Yeah.
the muscles.
Yeah.
So I understand the concept.
Yeah, I've noticed
So-
that a lot. Like, one thing I also noticed a lot of is almost 99% of people that have beast mode written on their t-shirt are never in beast mode. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes, but and yesterday, and this is so funny, I saw a guy who was walking by me and he had a T-shirt that said "hardest worker in the room," and I said, "Sure."
Yeah, cool.
He didn't print it.
Yeah.
He bought it.
Yeah.
There's a company who make these
Yeah.
T-shirts, and I think like everybody says they are the hardest worker in the
Exactly.
room.
Yeah.
But even the hardest worker in the room is not a hardest
Yeah,
worker.
exactly.
There's always someone who works hard.
I always
But I mean,
notice
like that guy, he wasn't even.
just on his phone and
Yeah,
just getting on.
yeah.
I noticed that so much. Like people who have these, sayings on it.
Motivational quotes,
Mostly
yeah.
the people that are wearing them are the people that are never in beast mode or are never
Yeah.
never give up. And they gave up. I just seen you give up instead
Yeah,
of doing the last 3 reps. Do you know what I mean? And then the people who are serious, like you, would just wear a black t-shirt who's
Yeah.
got nothing on it.
Yeah.
Where do you find your clothes, dude? Do you have to go to specific bodybuilding sites or? Because you're not going to put on a pair of Zara skinny jeans.
No, I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to clothes, I mostly wear like gym clothes. I'm sponsored by Gasp Industries, so and they do oversized clothes intended to be worn by bodybuilders. And I honestly wear those clothes more or less 24/7, even when I'm not training.
Yeah.
But there are places like American Eagle, for example. They have big jeans. They're also flexible.
Really?
Yeah.
But big your quad size?
Yeah. So there are, if you know what shop,
But,
you can actually find.
But it's,
But
not,
like-
it's not easy to buy you a present, huh?
No, not if you're gonna buy me clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I mean, like normal clothes and like suits and stuff, I have to like customize.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No. So I stopped looking for normal clothes. Like I can't go to any normal
Store and just buy
store
it.
and
Yeah.
just buy a T-shirt or a shirt.
Yeah.
It won't fit. Normally,
Crazy.
they don't have the sizes, and even if they have the size,
The
it will-
proportions
the
of the sizes
proportion
won't be right,
are,
yeah.
are wrong. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah,
And I think what people don't understand is the effort that goes into doing what you do. Because it's been a long journey for your pro card.
it has been.
know?
I mean, like some people, they think they're gonna get the pro card now in like 1 or 2 years of training, and I think it's because of Instagram. Because there are a lot of fake transformations and a lot of lies and
Yeah.
bullshit flourishing on the social media. But I would say, like, if you want to turn pro and if you have the genetics to turn pro, it will probably take you 10 years of competitive.
And it's not cheap.
It's not cheap,
It's
but
not cheap.
also it's
Especially
not
before the sponsors and all that, and you have to fly to the competitions and you have to feed yourself. And you're
exactly.
feeding yourself like 3 guys, really, if you really want to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, the food, I mean, it gets easier once you start getting, you know, sponsors who will then fly you over and stuff. Once you've proven yourself.
Exactly.
But to get there, it's a huge investment for
I
someone.
mean, before we moved here to Dubai, I worked 10 years with normal job, like 8 to 5 job. And I was making all my money just to be able to support my competitive career. So, but when I turned pro, I started to get a few sponsors. But I mean, like bodybuilding is nothing compared to other sports.
Yeah, of course.
You will never ever be able to just make it out of sponsor money unless you're top 5, 10 in the world.
But the paychecks are pretty big for, like, if you win Olympia, right? It's
Yeah,
over $1 million.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how many people win Olympia?
Yeah, right.
One guy every year.
The last 8.
And he wins He wins maybe 8 years in a row.
Yeah.
So that's one guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, sure, I have sponsors today that actually supports me pretty well. I have Knocko Barbells. I have Protein House that supplies me with my food. They prep my meals. And I have Smart Shake.
You have your own Smart Shake as well, right?
Yeah, I have my own
I have one
shaker
of
with
those
them.
at home.
Yeah, that's good.
I got it from the Muscle Show.
Yeah.
You gave it to me at the Muscle
Yeah.
Show. Yeah.
So I mean, like, they are paying me, but it's not my main income. My main income is personal training and online coaching, and I do like nutrition plans and supplement plans and stuff like that.
And do you find that most of your clients on the online side are young people trying to get into the industry, or just young people who just want to get bigger, but not like who want to compete as bodybuilders?
Most people are young guys who just want to get bigger or who want to get in better shape. I would say maybe 10% of my clients are competitive. Sorry. And so the rest are like normal gym goers, but that want to actually focus more on their training and the results. They actually want to get out more of the training than they are getting at the moment, and they feel like they are lacking in the knowledge. So they need someone.
Everybody needs a trainer, right? Like even trainers need trainers, and competitors who are at the highest level.
I would say like there is no competitive sport that there is someone else who doesn't know better than you. So you can always learn from someone.
And probably the higher you get in the competition, the more you will need a trainer for those.
I mean,
tweaks.
like, the better you get, the tougher the competition gets, and the smaller the marginals get, the more the details actually matter and becomes important. So it's a game of inches, and like, so I mean, like, everything that you can do just a little bit better will actually pay off at the end. So I mean, like, if you're for example, if you're cheating on your diet, it maybe doesn't matter one day, but if you do it a couple of times,
then it
will show when you're on stage. And also it's for yourself. I mean, like, if you stand on stage and you don't feel like you did 100%, that's not where you want to be.
Have you done that before, where you've maybe come up with a bit more water than usual, or a bit more, and you feel, oh, if I just did that one thing, then I would have looked completely different today? Because it's such a small thing. Like, the difference to, you know, the carb loading by just a bit wrong or a bit right. It's a very scientific process, right? It's not a case of I'm just going to get shredded and go on stage.
No, and also the body changes from year to year. So what worked for you last year maybe not be working this year. But yeah, as a answer to the question, I had a bad year last year because I started the year with injuries, and then I decided, instead of just resting and heal up, I decided to go full on anyway, and that was probably the worst decision I took. So everything just went to shit.
After or before the pro card?
No, this is after.
After the pro card, because now you're like, well, I got my pro card now. I have to turn up and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. You also feel obligated to the sponsors as well. So, and also the thing is, if you don't compete, people will forget about you. If you don't do a show like every year, people will forget about you. So, but also you have not only an obligation to the sponsors, you have an obligation to yourself to actually look the best. And I didn't do that last year. So that's why I want to redeem myself this year, and I've been pushing very hard. And I was supposed to go to Korea last week, but I couldn't get a visa.
Oh, really?
So because normally I have a Swedish passport, so normally we don't need a visa, but the pandemic situation
it's messed everything up.
had messed everything up, and also the U.S. closed their borders, so I can't go to U.S. and compete either. So
and are these competitions still going on?
Yeah, they are going on,
so
but
you're losing out because you can't get
I'm missing out on the shows. So there is another show now in Korea in 3 weeks, and I have a close dialogue with the promoters, and they are trying to get me a visa through the Ministry of Justice there in Korea, but they say it's hard. So we'll see what happens, because even if I get a visa, it might be like 2 weeks quarantine. But I have a friend here that might be able to help me to get a quarantine exemption, so I don't have to do the 2 weeks quarantine, so I can just go there. But I need the permission first from Korea. So
it's nuts how the amount.
It's crazy. The thing is, and also it's difficult to motivate yourself to stay on track when you don't know if and when things are gonna happen. Because I've been dieting now for 20 weeks, and 20 weeks is normally a little bit longer than I usually diet, because I started my diet because I thought I was going to compete in Spain in July. And then that show got postponed.
Then it's Korea.
Then it was Korea who was the next one. So, okay, I kept going for Korea, and I couldn't get away to Korea. And then it's another one in Korea. Well, actually, it was one in Tampa next week, but I can't go to Tampa because the US is closed. So the next one is Korea, so I'm waiting for that one. And if I don't get a visa in like 2 weeks, or they say that I'm not going to be able to go there, I'll just call it off for the year, and then start again for the next year instead.
I mean, I guess it's gonna be quite different with all the winners in all these competitions, because so many people who might be in the top 3 can't actually make it there, so there'll be a lot of other people getting the wins.
So I think, like, from the list now, maybe half of the people that are already qualified for Mr. Olympia won't be able to get to America. And then also for the remaining shows that are qualifying for the Olympia, the people cannot do them because you have to be inside US
to be there,
to be able to do the shows. Because I think of the remaining shows this year, 5 of them is in US, 1 is in Korea, and 1 in Spain, and the show is
all the countries that you couldn't go to.
And Spain is, I don't even know if it's gonna happen.
I don't think Spain will happen.
So they're probably gonna cancel that. I hope not for the people who's planning to do it, but you have to be realistic as well. The Korea shows are not canceled. It's just that people cannot go. Last week's show, there were 2 competitors, 2 Korean guys.
It's a good chance for one to win.
one guy got the qualification. The other guy who got 2nd place, he got points, so he's probably going to qualify by points.
That's crazy, man. So how did it feel when you first got your pro card? Did you feel like you knew you were going to win that time? Because surely 3-4 competitions before that, you also thought you were going to get your pro card, right?
That year, I did 6 pro qualifiers, I think. Wow. And I got like 2nd a few times when I thought I was going to win.
That must be devastating.
And that's frustrating. And you're so close, and you think like, okay, I was planning to do this one, and then it was like, it's going to be the last. But then when you're so close, you just keep pushing, and you keep pushing, and you have to pay everything from your pocket, and you're like,
I'm close, yeah.
I'll just sacrifice everything, and if I get it, I get it. If not, at least I tried. So yeah, but I basically knew that I was gonna get it that year because I was so good
and on a roll with your positions and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that year from all the shows I did, I either got 1st or 2nd at all of the shows. So I was like the top amateur in my weight category. So I knew more or less that I was gonna be able to get the pro card when I got it. So.
And how do you choose because you're a bit artsy in your posing.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. Some people have the really hot. The music you choose is not the music I would first expect. So when it comes on the song, I'm like, oh shit, he chose this song. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, I like classic posing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to pose to hip hop or to rock when you do classic poses. I usually mix. I can do like a slow song that is still powerful, do some classic poses, and then maybe switch over to like a hip hop or rock song at the end, just to hit a few more power shots, because I still have the mass and size to do power shots, but I still also has the
flow,
the flow and the physique and the symmetry to hit the classic poses. So I want to be able to showcase both both kind of what do you say, poses and physiques and styles of posing. So
because it makes you stand out, right? Because
exactly,
everyone else is putting on the usual same old kind of things.
Yeah.
And then he comes on and you have like an Evanescence song that comes on. No, I like that a lot.
So yeah, but you have to go by your kind of physique, what type of physique you have, what kind of poses you can hit, and also how the poses look. So I mean, like the free posing routine is actually the only time where you can decide by yourself what you want to showcase. I mean, like it's not just by showing your strengths, but it's also about hiding your weaknesses. So for example,
posing,
so for example, when we compete, we have as a pro we have 8 mandatory poses, which everybody do together, so the judges can compare you. So basically, it's like the front double biceps, the lat spread, side chest, all these like the normal poses, and there you cannot hide anything
because everyone has to do the same one.
Everyone has to do the same. So in the free posing routine, you actually have 3 minutes where you can only show your best sides and hide your bad sides. And this is the last thing you do. So this will leave an impression on the judges.
So kind of make them forget the first part.
Exactly. So that's a huge opportunity to know, if you know how to showcase your physique, that's a huge opportunity to get extra points there. So.
And posing is a lot of effort as well, right?
It is.
Like it's a lot of practice.
It is. The flow, it has to flow, the transitioning between the poses, and also you should hit the pose hard, but you should still look relaxed.
Yeah, without looking like you're gonna shit yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you find that, like, I mean, how often would you pose a week coming up to a competition? Would you practice at home every day?
It depends on. I mean, like the mandatory poses, I do pretty often because that's also what I post online on social media. Like for my viewers, I post like the mandatory poses. But I mean, like the free routine, normally I just put it together like 4 weeks out, and then I practice it till I know it. And I do like a lot of mental practicing. I don't have to do.
You visualize it.
I visualize it. I listen to the music. I can do this before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just put on this song, close my eyes, and then I just hit the poses to the song in my head. So I don't have to practice it on the floor physically, but I will still learn how it feels and what pose to hit where in the music. So that's usually how I practice.
Yeah, I pose without music when I'm practicing mine.
Yeah.
Or I like to put on the ABC song because I feel like it's the only song that will represent all of these muscles that I have, you know. So who were your I mean, I wouldn't say growing up because you weren't into bodybuilding until you were 20. Did your inspiration and the people you looked up to in bodybuilding change as you got better at the sport? Or has it been the same ones from the beginning?
No, it probably has been the same, to be honest. But I mean, like, if you want to talk about inspirations in life, it has always been my parents. More or less out of 2 reasons. They always made sure that we had what we need. They always worked for us so we can have food on the table and a good upbringing. But I mean, like, and also they always supported me in no matter what I did. If it was like soccer, music. I mean, like, I don't know how many times my mom drove us to the gigs because we didn't have driver license.
So she had to be taking you.
Had to take us all everywhere. And the same with the football, the soccer, and
the crazy kick flips on the skateboard.
Exactly. So, and yeah, they always been supported no matter what I did. So But I mean, like for bodybuilding, it has more or less. I think you idolize people that you in some way can identify yourself with, either if it's like physique wise or if it's like maybe height wise. For example, I'm a pretty short guy. I'm 5'5", which is 166 centimeters. So I always been like, I had like Lee Priest, Flex, no, Sean Ray, and guys like Danny Padilla back in from the 70s, and even Franco Colombo.
Colombo's big.
Yeah, and also Lee Labrada, he was a little bit shorter guy. These guys are the people that I've been idolizing. And then, of course, I mean, like, the best physique of all time, according to me, is Flex Wheeler. And also Coleman, maybe like around 97, 98, had a good physique.
From the big, what about Zayn?
I like Zayn, but I think he has a little bit too small physique for me. I mean, I probably surpassed Zayn's physique size-wise, like just a couple of years into my training. So it felt a little bit weird to idolize
someone
that I surpassed, even if he was the greatest at that time that he was the best. But that was compared to the other guys' physiques as well. So I mean, like, so for me, it's more about trying to reach people's physiques that I haven't reached yet. Like, for example, Flex Wheeler's physique. If I get that one day, oh, I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Lee
I mean, you're not far off it now, no?
I think it's so hard to assess your own physique, how big you are. But I mean, like, I'm currently around, I'm almost 100 kg in competition shape. I was like, this morning I was like 97 and a half, and I'm like super shredded. So, I mean, like, there's a lot of size. And I think, like,
because 100 kg for your size isn't that heavy at all for the amount of muscle that you have on, right? Because I'm 87.
But I'm only 166.
Yeah, true.
So, and in the off season, I go up to maybe 110, 112 at the most. So, and the body mass index is like 40 plus. So if you go by that, it's a lot of size.
That's crazy.
But I think I look bigger than my weight shows.
Yeah.
A lot of people guess that
that's what I mean.
A lot of people, but also that's because maybe I give the impression of being taller than I am. Because people, if they guess my height, they always guess that I'm taller.
Much taller. Yeah. From the pictures.
Yeah, even seeing me in real life.
Yeah.
Because I don't have like the.
Yeah, I don't feel like you're shorter than me when I'm standing next to you. Like when I'm talking to you.
No, but I think it's also about proportions, like arms and legs, the limbs. They are not, because if you normally people that are shorter, they have like shorter limbs as well. But I have like more proportionate limbs as well, so I think that plays a role.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because I would like, just looking at you, and I know about training and stuff, I would say you at least 110.
Yeah, thanks.
Like shredded, least.
Appreciate it.
At least.
Appreciate it.
That's crazy.
But I compete. There's two classes in the pro bodybuilding. There's 212, which I compete in, and then the open.
So 212 is where the number comes from the apparel, right?
Yes, exactly.
I was wondering what that was. Yeah.
So 212 is the weight category, and it's 96.1 kg.
Okay.
So when I weigh in, I have to be below 96 kg, and then after the weigh-in, I can eat or drink or do whatever I need to do.
That's
to
crazy.
fill up.
Imagine having to, like, buy a kg.
Yeah.
Like everything you trained for, all the food that had no flavor, all that stuff that you did for maybe 6 months. If you're 1 kg over, it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, like, when I was amateur, my last amateur show, I was 84 point something because I did the below 85 kg. So I mean, like, but that was tough.
That's what I weigh, and there has never ever been a time where I've looked at you that I thought we weighed anywhere near the same.
Yeah.
Especially when we used to train in the gym. I used to look at your hamstring when you were doing the standing curls, and go, I probably weigh about as much as this hamstring.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is also, it's an illusion. I mean, like,
the more cut you are,
the more cut you are, the bigger you look.
Yeah.
So they say like 1 kg down on the scale is 1 kg up on the stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it plays a huge role how cut you are, because you can see guys in the gym that are skinny, they are
But they look good.
super cut,
Yeah.
and they look
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Like I have clients that I train, like I want to be as big as him.
Hmm.
Bro, you're bigger,
Yeah.
but he's just more
Yeah.
cut.
More cut. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing.
That's the only difference.
Yeah.
So
I've said that so many times to myself. I've always, when I'm training with someone, I'm like, yeah, I want to be that guy's size, and they're like, dude, you're much bigger than that guy. What are you talking about? Or when you see someone else and you're like, is he in better shape than me?
yeah.
Like, do you ever get body dysmorphia? You must do.
I think I have a pretty good what do you say, grasp of how big I am. But the other thing is also what drives me forward is that I I can appreciate how I look, yes, but also when I look in the mirror or when I look at pictures, I see the flaws. But that's as a competitive
But you will
bodybuilder.
do, because at the end of the day, you're a sculptor at the same time.
Yes.
So
So for me, it's not about, oh, I'm so ugly, I'm so fat, or I'm so small. It's more about, I want to have more size there, I want to have more cuts there, and I want to improve this and this.
And also
to
because
look
you know your
better.
limitations, because you could maybe like, okay, that last 3 competitions, my shoulders looked better than this one because I
Yeah.
did this, and this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, but I wouldn't say that I have body dysmorphia in the sense that I think that I'm small,
Yeah.
because I know I'm big,
Yeah.
but I still want to be bigger,
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't affect my physique
Yeah, yeah.
negative. I mean,
Yeah.
like if I can still put on size and keep the symmetry and shape, yes.
Because a lot of people have that. You get big guys who think they're small.
Yeah.
You get small guys who think they're massive.
Yeah.
I mean, even me, I looked at a picture maybe when I was 19. I thought I was so muscly then, bro.
Yeah, but
I thought I was huge.
that's because, I mean, like when we start to train and we grow,
Yeah.
I think like the best years, like how you feel,
It's the first
is
changes.
the first
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time that you actually
Yeah.
are really, really satisfied with
Yeah.
what you have
And
achieved.
people really notice the difference in how you look.
Exactly. So
Because now it's like I spent so much time being shredded
yeah,
that, you know, friends that have known me for so long, if I put on a little bit of belly fat,
yeah,
I've still got an 8-pack,
yeah,
but there's more fat than usual. They'll go, oh,
Yeah.
you put on weight.
yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh,
People,
really?
people are
Do you know what I
so critical.
And I would still look better than
They-
so many people.
Yeah,
But for me, they're so used to me being in a certain thing.
yeah.
And it's just like, why would you say that?
This is very common, I think, also with women who compete. Like, oh, you put on size, so oh, you gained weight, and they are so harsh
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hard, and they don't realize that competition shape is not,
not-
something
yeah.
that you go around with.
And it's not sustainable either.
No. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially if you're a woman, because women need more body fat just to have like the normal hormone
Yeah,
balance.
yeah,
like,
exactly. And the kids and their periods and
yeah,
everything like that, yeah.
exactly. So they are supposed to have more fat. So if a girl competes at a body fat level at maybe 8 or 10%, which is very low for a girl, and then she goes up to 20, which is normal, and she hears like, "Oh, you gained weight,"
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
that's not good. I mean, like, people have to be careful what to say and how they.
Yeah, they shouldn't say. No one should say anything anyway that's negative.
I don't think
Even
so.
if someone, I mean, you should, if anything, say something nice to someone to
Yeah.
make, even if it's negative,
Yeah,
just to kind of boost them.
yeah.
Do you know
Or
what I
if
mean?
you,
Or don't say anything at all.
if you don't have anything nice to say,
Don't say it.
don't
yeah.
say it. I mean, like, why?
Yeah.
There's no reason at all. If not, someone asks you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if someone asks you, do you think I've gained weight or
Yeah,
blah blah
exactly.
blah? Okay, but you can still put it in a nice way.
Because that's the worst thing. And you know, sometimes if I've, you know, because we go through transitions when we're training. Sometimes we're shredded a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, we've eaten a lot more, so we look fuller and bigger. And
Yeah.
sometimes when I go to the gym, like one of the workers there, they'll be like, "Oh, you lost so much weight," but I actually shredded up and I
Yeah.
look really good.
Yeah.
But then mentally, I'll be like, "But why did you say that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the wrong words.
Yeah.
The word is you look leaner."
Yeah.
Like, don't say stuff
Yeah,
like, for somebody who's trying to
yeah.
to put on weight or build muscle.
Yeah.
It's never a good time
No.
for you to say to them you lost weight.
No.
Especially to a guy who's trying to get bigger. You know?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And also, I think like a lot of people feel bad about themselves, not because
So they project it.
yeah, and also the thing is like people who train because they have like I wouldn't say like body dysmorphia, but when people tell you bad things, you take them as the reality.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you go from being 10% body fat to 15 or 20, and that's normal, and someone tells me, "Oh, you gained a lot of weight lately."
Yeah.
Did or this one? Did you stop training?
Yeah.
Did you stop training? You're not training anymore.
Yeah.
That's the worst one you
Yeah.
can get, and that puts like a lot of pressure on people to always live up to other people's expectation.
Which is what social media is all about now, which is messed
Yes,
up.
and the thing is, they might be satisfied with how they look, but
Like, who asked for your advice?
but other people put a lot of pressure on what they think how they should look.
Yeah.
So I think that's the worst thing today.
I mean, even the whole social media thing is just, even with personal trainers, it's like I look at some of the posts and I'm like, A, that's not a natural transformation.
Yeah.
B, that did not take 6 weeks.
No.
3, your client is standing 10 feet away from the camera in the first one, and 2 feet away from the camera.
And different lighting.
So obviously, if I'm that far away from the camera, I'm going to look smaller.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put an X on the spot.
Yeah.
And make them stand there every single time,
Exactly.
and then do the transformation.
Exactly.
It's like you're only kidding the people who don't train, and that's the dangerous part, because they then pay these people, thinking that that's going to happen.
Exactly. And then you have all these trainers who does these weird ass things, exercises that you don't see people do before, and then you have the clients who expect the trainer to do those things because they've seen other trainers do them or seen them on Instagram. So if they hire me, for example, I would never make them do crazy exercises. And then they'll say, "Why are we not doing this? I've seen people doing this."
But even those people who are doing it, a lot of these athletes and women and stuff, the training they're doing in the videos, that's not how they got their body.
No.
It just looks good in the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't train like that. They don't do Superman press-ups and stupid banging your elbows on the floor and all that stuff. They train normally with weights, and then they make that just for the social media and stuff.
And that's also one of the things that happened when the COVID came and the home working videos came.
And everyone became a trainer.
Everyone became a trainer. And I said, like,
an influencer.
I want to see these people in the gym when the gym's open.
Exactly.
I haven't seen anyone. They stopped posting training videos on Instagram because now they cannot post home video trainings because they can actually go to the gym.
Exactly.
So you will not see them training or do it. So, yeah.
Now, where did the son of Sahara name come from? Was that also in the Dubai municipality when they changed your Arabic name? Where they
I wish.
No, it's now Troudi, and you're now the son of Sahara.
I wish. No, it's actually because my mom is from Egypt and my dad from Tunisia, and both countries
part of the Sahara.
It's part of the Sahara. So since I'm their son, so it just became. I think I made it up myself. And then it just got stuck. I know that people say that you shouldn't.
Give yourself your nickname.
Give yourself a nickname. I don't give a fuck.
Why not? Why not? It's a cool name, and I'm keeping it.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like a brand. I mean, like if you come up with a brand or a brand name, you are the one who's coming up with the name. It's not someone
and you are
else.
a brand.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't care at all.
Yeah,
I think it's a cool name.
I love it. Yeah, I was thinking that I want to be I'm the cousin. I'm the cousin of the son of Sahara.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that I want to talk about.
Yes.
And that's this whole Synthol. In Brazil, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You see these guys with breasts, not chest, not
breasts,
pecs, breasts, full-on breasts.
Yeah.
And I've seen, this kid in Russia who literally has arms the size of yours, but a body the size of that tree or this mic arm.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like there and there. And what do you think is going through their mind? Do you think they look good? Because people take pictures with them in the street.
The guy in Russia, I think he has body dysmorphia in some way.
And they have infections. They're purple.
Yeah, he's probably gonna die from it because it's really, really bad. It looks very bad. Then I think other people just take things too far. Maybe they started with something and they got good results in the beginning, and then they felt like just a little bit more and a little bit more, and then they don't realize when it goes too far.
Yeah, but how do you not realize when you have two arse cheeks on your arm and then a skinny forearm? It's
I don't
you
know,
can see
man.
the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You know what
And the
a
thing
human being's
is,
supposed to look like.
the thing is, most people don't see that it's not real or that it's disproportionate. It's mostly people that train in the gym who had some kind of knowledge about how a
That
physique
you just can't
looks.
build. You can't do that.
That you can't look like that natural. And I mean, like, people do whatever they want to do, but it's exactly the thing that you say. Do they think it looks good?
And
I'm not sure.
I think people as well who, because a lot of people make fun of them
Yeah.
by pretending that it looks good. I
Yeah.
notice that a lot. They go and they take
Yeah.
pictures and they
Yeah,
make them do
yeah,
the double
yeah.
buys and do that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they're not seeing that the joke's on them,
No.
and they're liking this attention.
Yeah.
So they're kind of going worse and worse and worse.
And also for some people, it might be the only attention they get. I think, for example, like there is this Brazilian guy, the one you mentioned,
The one with the breast.
with the breast. I mean, like, he's probably rich and famous because of this,
of
and
course.
that's the
Where
only
usually
reason
he wouldn't be. Yeah.
He wouldn't be. He would be poor, or maybe even dead,
Yeah,
or whatever. So I mean, like, for them, it might also be a way out of poverty or I don't know, boredom,
but at
or
what cost though? Because
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
look healthy. And
No,
and
no,
it's
for
not
sure,
gonna.
no.
Because you get a lot of that. And that's something else I want to move on to. Is not only is there a lot of bro science with training online, a lot of mixed messages, a lot of that, but you get a lot of kids who are starting to delve into these steroid uses and stuff, and they're not doing blood tests. They don't. They're just listening to a friend in the gym. They're 16, 17,
Yeah.
so they don't even need the hormones in their body. What advice would you have for these kids who literally need to just stick on the right track and get to where they are, naturally, and then in the future when they're old enough, make the right decision? Because it's big in these countries where I mean, I had a friend when I was in school and he was 15, he was taking
Yeah.
steroids. And
I actually, when I moved here, I noticed there's more widespread amongst younger kids. I don't say that it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world, but especially here in the Middle East. But I think it's due to at least one reason, that it's more accepted in general, and that it's not illegal in that way that you're getting punished by, for example, like in Sweden and US, you can go to prison if they catch you using or selling.
but everybody uses them in the US, so how? 'Cause
Yeah, but
there's always a funny kind of like
yeah,
not
but
quite clear rules about
exactly. And but I think like the common spread use here makes it also more available and less dangerous in some way, and people see it more like a supplement than an actual hormone, which is gonna change your whole hormonal balance. And as a 15 or 16 or even 20-year-old guy, your own testosterone production
It's super high.
is super high. And also, even at 15, 16, you might not even have gone through the puberty
The stage that you need to
the stages you need to develop your own testosterone production. And that means that if you start messing with the hormones, your body will stop producing testosterone. And if your body stops producing testosterone before you're done with the puberty,
then that's it. You will never get it back.
you're never gonna get it back. You become more or less a woman with a dick, but without balls and without because that's what happened. It's like a chemical castration. So, and I think like, okay, most people who start using steroids will probably use them for the rest of their lives. So I mean, like, in that sense, they will still be able to get the gains later on. But that's not the issue. The issue is
internally.
Internally, do you want to have kids? Do you want to grow, be able to like have a healthy lifestyle? And the thing is with people who start using steroids as soon as they start to train, is they don't learn how to train and they don't learn how to eat or rest, because they rely only on the steroids.
Exactly.
So what's gonna happen when they stop using the steroids is they're gonna go
Yeah.
back to
And
probably
dangerously.
even less
Yeah.
than they had before they started.
Mm.
So I would recommend anyone to train at least
At least 4 or 5 years.
4 or
no?
5 years without even considering
Yeah.
anything. And then depending on how old you are,
Yeah.
how far you came to your genetic max,
Yeah.
because you can reach your genetic max in maybe 4 or 5 years if you do the nutrition and the sleep and all the recovery and the training 100%. Then you might be able to take a mature decision. Do I need it?
And
What's the benefit?
also why the
Yeah,
risk reward factor.
Exactly.
If you're not competing and you're not, I mean, really just to go on the beach,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Most people today that use steroids could get the same result without, but maybe in the little bit
But
longer
that's the
time.
problem. We're living in this.
Exactly.
I want it now. I want it now.
Instagram. You
I want to be an
you
influencer.
influence. You want to have results
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
not even today. So, but I'm not to judge anyone, and people can do what they want with their lives. But I think like you need to be minimum 20, 25, I would say, and you should have like a background of training and nutrition where you've been doing everything 100% perfectly for like the last few years.
Yeah.
And you maybe even reach a plateau where you feel like, okay, this is not just a plateau, this is actually my genetic
Like max.
max.
Yeah.
I can't go beyond this level
Yeah.
if I don't use anything enhancing. So
Yeah. I mean, that's what scares me because I don't think I have a genetic max. I think I'm just, I think I'm just kind of like,
I'm the same.
right?
I just
think
keep,
I'll
I'm just
going.
keep
So
growing.
the reason I decided to stop growing is because we can't afford another door
Exactly.
in the studio. So I'm going to have to keep it to a certain level.
No, but it's good. Yeah.
So talk to me about the, because you have a daughter now?
Yes.
2 years old now, right?
Yes, Indra is 2 years.
2 years. How did that change everything?
It's changed everything, and also it didn't. Because in some way, I still had the possibility to do what I want because of the support system that I have with my wife. And I mean, but still you have to adjust everything according to her timings. And I mean, like, you cannot just do anything anytime. You have to, like, the first year we didn't go out a single night after 8 o'clock, I think.
I know the feeling. It's the worst.
Yeah. So, but now we took a decision last year. So they actually moved back to Sweden.
Okay.
So they've been there now for a bit more than a year. They were here in the winter for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And the plan is, and was and still is, that I'm gonna go back and forth, a couple of months there, a couple of months here. But since the corona happened,
nobody's going. Couple of nothing, nowhere.
I was planning to go in May.
Yeah.
But my ticket got canceled.
Yeah.
I had 3 tickets and they all got canceled. So, but I'm going there now next month, and I'm gonna stay like a couple of months in Sweden before maybe they come back with me in the winter here.
Yeah.
So the plan is to go back and forth, because the reason why they moved back is mainly 2 reasons. My wife wants Indra, our daughter, to grow up with her cousins. She has a lot of cousins in her age, and also the school, healthcare, and everything is free.
It's free. There you go,
It's free. So here it would have cost too much. And the reason why I'm not going back there with them permanently is because it's easier for me to be able to live off my sponsors and personal training here in UAE than it would have been for me in Sweden. It would basically be impossible to have the same lifestyle that I have here, but to have in Sweden.
Yeah.
But the plan is, of course, to move back permanently in the future as well. But at the moment, I'm gonna go back and forth a lot.
And how did it change you mentally as a dad? Like, cause for me, I mean, okay, I have a monster of a child in the UK who's 18, but it's just everything changes, huh? Did it make you more sensitive?
It does, and also you're more aware of like people have more feelings.
Yeah.
You see things like, oh, this guy maybe has kids, or this guy has been a kid, or and also the first thing that changed was probably the way I looked at my parents, because I understood what they had been feeling all this time.
Yeah.
Even if my daughter is just 2 years,
Yeah.
you still have that connection and bond,
It's crazy, right?
and you realize, damn, I maybe should have been more nice to my parents.
Yeah, right. It just makes you think, because no matter what they do, I mean, you'll get it as they're older. It's just how much love
Yeah.
you have for them,
Yeah,
and it's just like, anytime that I've just done something wrong when I was older, I was just like, I was a dick,
yeah,
you know? Because I imagine them saying it to me or
Yeah.
doing it to me, and I'm like, no, they're never going to do that. They're not a dick
Yeah.
like me. But they will, because we
Of
go through
course.
hormones and
of
changes and all
course,
that
of
stuff.
course.
But it's just it's a whole different
Yeah,
concept of love.
and
that
you can't explain it.
Yeah.
You can't explain it for someone else, and you can't explain it almost for yourself, because it's just there. So
It's a super
And then-
internal trait, yeah.
it's so weird, because I think I've been seeing lately a lot of videos on social media where
With
like
the pedophilia and all this stuff.
pedophilia
Yeah,
and people hitting the
yeah,
kids.
yeah. I'm the same. And
And I
you look at
wanna-
your kids and you're like, how would you ever do that
Yeah.
to someone? You know, if I mean, I don't hit my kids, and I very rarely shout at them.
Yeah,
But on the odd occasion where I catch myself shouting,
yeah,
I feel bad, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't need to shout. And when
No.
they look at me like, and that's just from shouting. So imagine the things that these people are doing. How could you ever? I mean, there's a certain level of evil, I think.
I think it's not only evil, but it's also like it's been passed down to them
from when they were younger.
from they were
Yeah.
younger. I think like to be mentally able to abuse someone, you have to be
Abused
been
or something, yeah,
abused. So I think it's just sad to see the what do you say, the how big it is. I mean, like how spread out it is.
Because it's not a natural act.
No, I don't think
And
so.
you know what? We have to be very careful now, because I saw a post on this. Did you see this whole hashtag trans age thing?
And
That they're trying to basically say that they're trying to basically push this, that pedophiles, it's okay for them to be with kids if they feel like they're a kid inside. So like,
oh, they're taking it one step longer than that.
I identify as
myself
a
as a
10-year-old.
kid.
So it should.
Oh, that's
so,
just-
so love is love,
that's
and
just
they're trying to
crazy.
push this agenda.
That's just
And
crazy.
for me, it's like I'm under no circumstances. Like this is when things will start to go really downhill.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
You know, and they're pushing it and they're creating a new flag for themselves. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, love is love. No, love is
No,
not love.
no,
I don't care how old you think you are.
No,
You know, no child can consent to anything.
no, that's crazy.
You
And
know?
even if you think that you're a child
Then
and that it's okay for you to have sex,
yeah,
it's not okay for a child who is a child
yeah, exactly.
to have
Yeah.
sex or be abused
Yeah.
by someone.
It's the world is in a very strange place
Yeah,
right now.
I think so. And also the same thing, I don't want to discuss it, but like, I mean, like, I don't mind gay and transgender people, but the ones who push their kids.
Yeah. We spoke about this other time.
Yeah.
It's like, look, if I tell my son he's a Tyrannosaurus Rex,
Yeah, he's gonna believe you.
he's going to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex and he's going to run around the house.
Yeah,
I have no issue with people wanting to change their sex
No.
when they're a mature adult.
exactly.
But letting a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old have an operation and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
no.
they haven't even fully developed.
No.
There's been stories of people that they got let do it, and then when
Yeah.
they got older, they wanted to change back and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And it's like, look, just I also was watching Joe Rogan the other day, and he said that, you know, he had a guest on who was saying, usually, for people that are really identify as a lady or whatever,
Yeah.
it's usually between the ages of 2 and 3
Yeah.
that they really keep saying it, and
Yeah.
and it's a very big thing to them. It's not usually, and it's usually boys who are doing it.
Yeah.
And now they're finding that it's gone up something like 600% in teenage girls in school
Yeah.
who are in groups
Yeah.
becoming, oh, we're all guys. So it's becoming a trend and a fashion, and and it's like it's a very strange thing. And I think as human beings, we do need to be put in our place, because if you just let everyone do whatever they want to do, this world will be a circus.
The interview with the same girl who said like most girls who think they are transgender might be it because they feel they are different, and they think that the solution might be that they are transgender. Okay. I can imagine that as well. Like people are looking for a solution to a problem, and they are willing to take it as far as possible if they think that they could be a solution to the problem, but they are not transgender. They just want to. They just want to.
The problem is in America now. There are in certain states, these young girls and boys can go to and get the hormones for free. On the over the counter, and they don't have to have their parents' permission either.
That's crazy.
So they can just start doing it, and the school, she can go and change her name in school, and the school doesn't even have to tell you that we now call her Tom. And it's like, hold on a minute, there needs to be some limits with all this. Now, what can you do? Talk to me about the afterlife. Something I go through with all my guests. I'd really like to have everyone's opinions on what happens, or if you've ever thought about it at all, or if it's something that you think about.
I honestly think that we are reborn
back into another human body, or fully. You mean anything? Plants, trees?
No.
Dogs, cats?
Humans.
No, just humans.
I think the soul gets passed to another human. I don't know how I should explain the increase in population.
You know, I had the same idea as a story, that there was only a certain amount of people, souls, and they keep recycling, and there's never going to be more or less. But so let's just say there's 8 billion.
But maybe there are people like die at birth that doesn't die anymore. I'm not sure. No, but I think that we are in some way reborn.
But do you believe you have memories of that past life?
I think that some people have and some don't. And I think that maybe it can also be trained.
As in brought out through hypnosis and these kind of things.
Exactly. But I think like most people will not have any memories from the past. I mean, like you're reborn, like new. I also believe that it might take a while. So if you die today, you might not be reborn.
Put back straight away.
Tomorrow, you might maybe even wander around as a ghost.
So you believe in ghosts, as in do you believe that we see ghosts?
I'm just gonna.
That's all right.
My mom says that she has seen ghosts.
Okay.
And she works at a nursery home for older people, where a lot of people have died. Some of them were not, as she says, done with the life here on Earth. And I have to believe my mom.
Why?
I don't know. No, because since I believe that you can be reborn, I still have to also believe that in some way that the soul can be floating.
Anything's possible.
And also
but do you think that it would be light or something? Or do you think you'd be wearing a Protein House t-shirt, a cap backwards, and that would be your ghost? You would look how you looked in life.
You can probably dress up as you like.
So there's fashion in the ghost, in the spirit world. There's fashion as well. So you can change outfits.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think like because it would be so weird if it was already decided. Like, okay, now you're a ghost, you're gonna wear this dress the whole time.
Okay, but then where is this fashion? Like, so you have your own closet.
Yeah.
So there are ghost closets around
in the heaven
where you go and you're just gonna be like, I'm gonna wear this today when I go to freak these guys out.
Yeah, I believe in different dimensions. Yeah. So
the alternate universe kind of. Yeah. But do you believe you can jump in and out of the alternate universes?
I think that some probably can. I mean, like, I think it's different people have different abilities
and connections with
exactly. I'm not a huge fan of these like TV shows where people call upon the
Yeah, I
dead,
know what you're talking about.
or like go to like
with
haunted
the crystal
houses.
ball and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah,
I think most of these shows are bullshit,
yeah.
but I still believe in ghosts. Yes, I do, and I think there is a life after death. If it's back as another soul on earth, or if there is a heaven or whatever there is,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And do you believe that you choose? I mean, this is where it gets complicated.
Yeah,
Would you be a ghost in Dubai, or would you choose where you can go on the earth?
I think more or less if it is like an afterlife,
Yeah.
it would be like this world, but as an afterlife. Just
Okay, so you
so
die now.
yeah,
You're not coming back yet. You got about 3.5 weeks.
yeah.
What's your first outfit that you're gonna wear? What's the first thing you're picking out of the cupboard?
Probably a tank top. And I'll go to the beach.
The ghosts are just gonna be like, well, I still need to go to the beach, but then you wouldn't need to tan
No.
because you wouldn't have skin.
No, I'll be see through.
You'd be
I'm
see-through.
basically see through now.
You need to tan up
I
before the
need to
comps,
tan,
right?
yeah. Thing is, I've been doing laser treatments, and I
Yeah,
can't.
so you can't go in the sun, huh?
Can't go in the
Yeah,
sun.
that's
so-
why I would never, because I'm a sun worshipper. I
Yeah.
could never build, as you can see from my aged
Yeah.
90-year-old skin.
So
That's crazy. So what about? Are you afraid of death?
I'm not afraid of death per se. I'm more worried of the people that I leave behind.
Mm.
I mean, like, I know how my wife reacted when her mom died.
Mm.
It was very tough, and it's still very tough for her.
Mm.
And I don't want to die because I don't want to cause. It sounds so selfish.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
But I don't want to die because I don't want to cause any
Pain and suffering
and
to other
sadness
people around
to
you,
other people.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm gonna die before some of the people who love me, of course.
Yeah.
But at least I don't want to die before my mom and dad dies.
Mm. Yeah, because the most difficult thing is for a parent.
Yeah, I think
bury
so.
a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as for me, I'm not
You're
afraid.
not afraid
I'm
of
not afraid of death per se. I want to be there. I want to see my daughter grow up, but it's also not up to me.
Mm.
I don't regret anything in my life so far. I had a good run.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels sad to say it, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like
Everybody always leaves here like they're gonna die as soon as they walk out the door.
I don't feel like I missed out of anything that I want to do up till this point. So if I die now, at least I used the time I had the best way that I could.
You say that now, but now that injury is here,
Yeah,
it's now from now onwards that you're gonna miss out on everything.
exactly,
So that's
exactly.
the issue
But I mean,
that
like,
I have too.
from now and going backwards, I don't feel that I have to do anything to complete my life so far.
You're in acceptance of it. You're like you've thought about it. That 1 second of click darkness, if it's darkness or whatever, you're not fearful of that at all.
I mean, like, when you lie there and if you gonna die, you're probably gonna change your mind. But I mean, like, I don't go around thinking about
it. You don't let it kind of like rule your life.
No,
Yeah.
never. I'm more like a guy that I'm super, super thankful and grateful for everything that I have. And the same is like for people always ask me if it's difficult to live so far away from your wife and kids. Of course it is. But also, I'm so thankful for what I have.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful daughter. I have an amazing wife that supports me and that supports my choices in life and career. And today we also have interactions, like we have Skype, we have WhatsApp.
Zoom and all that,
There is, like, I said to my wife, I think it was like a couple of weeks back, I think sometimes it's also a blessing that I'm not there with you because I have so many pictures and videos
Yeah.
that I
That
wouldn't
you wouldn't
have.
usually have. Yeah.
So it's, of course, it's hard, and I miss them every day. And but also there is like more things in life, and there is, as you say, from now and beyond, inshallah, hopefully. And also you have to think like there are people who are away from their kids and wives for years.
Yeah.
It doesn't see them at all.
And there's some people that just
Didn't
man up and
Yeah,
don't give a fuck about their kids and don't.
exactly. So no, I see things positive, and I know that okay, now it's been a tough time because it's been 5 months since I saw them. They left just before the corona, and then when I was gonna go there and catch up with them, I couldn't go.
Yeah.
And then I lost. Well, basically, what happened was the gym just closed like this, so I didn't work for 3 months.
I had the same exact thing, man.
And I was gonna go. I said like, okay, let's go now when I don't work because I don't know.
And then you can't even do that.
Then I couldn't go, so I had to stay. And then when it was possible for me to go back again, the gyms reopened.
Yeah.
So I said like, I don't want to take this choice, but I have to work. I have to stay at least another 2 months, 3 months maybe, to get back in the game, to work up my economy, so that I can go to Sweden and stay there for a few months without working as a trainer. So yeah, it's been a tough time, but I mean like.
But it's been a tough time for everyone, so that's
Exactly,
what kind of makes it a bit more
and
acceptable.
Also, sometimes my wife makes it feel like it's my choice, but it's not, and she knows that I didn't choose this.
Yeah, of course.
It's the situation. It's the Corona situation. The only thing that I chose was to stay here and work so that I actually can go, because the alternative was, I told her, the alternative is I can come, stay 2 weeks, and go back. But what's the point?
Who could have predicted what was going to happen?
Exactly.
Who?
No.
I mean, apart from the people that made it happen, who made all the money from it, no one else could have predicted this stuff.
Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
That's it. I'm telling off all this evil.
Yeah.
So what does the future hold for Samir when it comes to bodybuilding? Do you see yourself, have you put yourself a cut-off limit saying, okay, I'm going to compete until this, and then I kind of like, I want to retire and I want to just chill out and not, or do you see bodybuilding as long as you can?
The good thing with bodybuilding is there is no
age limit.
Age
not like
limit.
football.
It's not like you're peaking at 30 and then you have like 5 years at your peak, but it's more like you're peaking around 40, and then you might have 10, you might have 15 years left, you might have 2 years left. Because it's also so based on how you stay injury free, how your physique looks, how your physique ages. So for me, I don't want to say like I'm gonna stop when I'm 40 or I'm gonna stop when I'm 50. I say I do this as long as I have the motivation, the love for the game, as long as I develop and doesn't place worse and regress.
Because you got to at least maintain that, because there's nothing like a boxer that comes back after his prime and then just gets beaten up all the time.
There's no point. When I feel like I'm done, then I'm done.
What's the ultimate goal? What's the ultimate competition win?
The ultimate competition for me is actually to win Mr. Olympia. And I think I can do it within a few years. I'm still considerably pretty young. I'm 37 this year, and the top level guys are 40, 42, 43.
Nice.
The guy who won the 212 Olympia last year is 47. Oh, he's 48 now.
Wow.
He was 47 then. The guy who won the Olympia is 40 something. So there are people competing way up in their 50s at top level, which is basically the only sport you can do that. And then you can go back and compete as an amateur if you want.
Or veterans, right, as well?
They don't have it
that's
pro,
amateurs,
pro.
right?
That's only the amateurs. So what happens is, if you don't want to compete as a pro anymore, you just go back to being an amateur. Then you can never compete as a pro again.
There's no point.
No. I mean, you can't.
It defeats the whole purpose of becoming a pro.
So you go back and compete as an amateur, and you can do that for the rest of your life.
Do you want to make a prediction on which year you're going to win Olympia, just so it could be even cooler when I play the clip on the podcast?
What's now, 2020?
Yeah.
2021.
2021. Yeah. I'm going to get this clip and remember that it was the essence of the podcast that made it happen. We manifested it today that it was going to happen. And if anything happens before then, I'm sure there'll be Ghost Olympia medals that you can put on when you choose the outfit.
Yeah. Then one outfit will be posing trunks.
Who chooses your trunks?
I do.
The colors. You like the purples and greens and stuff, right?
Yeah, I like greens, purple.
Do you feel like there's a color that... Is there any kind of correlation between previous winners and trunk colors? I know that might be a stupid question. It is?
Yeah, Phil Heath always wears green.
Yeah.
So, I have a girl who customized my trunks in Sweden. So whatever I need, she just do for me. So
nice. So I'm gonna get some signed Samir trunks for the followers. It's a shame we didn't have any of the apparel. We could have done a little competition for the people.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make him just deliver some over here, and you get a chance to win one of the
I'll
Sahara
send you
t-shirts. Yeah.
Send you the one.
We'll get the
hoodie one.
Yeah, the hoodie.
Short sleeve hoodie.
Not the one that I'm going to take.
No.
The other one that you guys will have a nice signed Son of Sahara one for you guys to win. Anything else that what should we push social media wise? Samir
Troudi on Instagram.
Okay. You don't have a Al Troudi old page, right?
No, there's no alternative.
Instagram. So at Samir Troudi will be in there.
Yeah.
Website?
SamirTroudi.com.
Cool. That's for the online training as well?
Everything.
Okay.
Information, pictures, online training.
Perfect.
Everything. My email address is imaginefutureyou@gmail.com. So just email me there if you're interested in online coaching or personal training in Dubai or even in Sweden. So
nice. Anything else you think that we missed out?
No, I have my Facebook fan page, but basically it's the same content as
the
Instagram.
Yeah, it's like me when I post something, I click it goes to both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's nothing special there. So Instagram is basically the only platform that I use.
Yeah.
No, nothing else. I just want to thank my sponsors and all my followers. I won't say fans because I don't like the words, but
neither do I.
Supporters and followers for everything. So.
And your sponsors, let's give them a quick shout out.
Yeah, it's Nocco and Barbels.
Yeah. Nocco's Swedish, right?
Nocco is Swedish. Barbels is the same company, but they do bars,
the bars I
and
them,
milkshakes. And same with Vitamin Well, it's the same company. They are available here in UAE. Smart Shakes is the shaker bottles, best shaker bottles in the world. And I have also Gasp Industries, which does
supplements,
clothings.
Clothing, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course I have Protein House that makes me my meals. So, and Protein House, if you dine in there here in UAE, you get 25% discount if you mention my name.
There you go.
Supplement I don't have.
Okay.
No,
we need to get the supplements.
I get supplements for free, but that's not a sponsor.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to be mentioned as a sponsor, you have to pay me.
That's it. That's the way. That's the way. So, Son of Sahara, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Time has flew. We got to do part 2 when you bring the Olympia medal.
Yes, inshallah.
With you, and we got to do another training session.
Of course.
Together.
Yes.
I hope that doesn't mean I have to come to Sharjah.
No. I'm here.
But, we'll do it.
I have my clients in Dubai.
Boom. Then we'll do it for sure.
Yes.
That's it.
Cool.
Anything else you want to say to them?
No, I'm super happy.
Wicked, guys. So
Thanks.
this is episode 11, and we'll see you soon. Boom. Wash your khram.
Peace.